Here we go. So the agenda is this. Please note, first of all, we are going to understand now today some important things about this data communication activity. It's going to be a long session today, as we uh, discussed in the previous mail. So first of all, please note that till this point we have the knowledge of implementing the functionality by which we can actually create the customer that client side controller. You can also work on the server side controller. We can also work on understanding the helper, and also we can perform on various activities. And here now we are going to see how exactly we are going to work on the rest of the things. Let's see one by one. And for this, please note what we are going to do is we are going to first of all log into our Salesforce environment and see the current situation or see the current statistics. So let me go to the lightning experience, as we are going to now move ahead to see some kind of components in action. And I hope everyone is ready with the all assignments, all previous works we have done. So let the page get loaded. So now it is loading. It is still loading. Okay, so please note, if you remember previous session, we worked on one scenario where we shown the display of the customers, right? We shown the account details and all account information. Okay, so this activity I hope you everyone completed, showing the list of the account records, fetching the data from the server side controller. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to work on now the next level where we are going to show. And by the way, this assignment, actually what we are going to see, is a part of a real-time project implementation that we are going to see, with having lots of scenarios in that. That is actually one HDFC real-time project that we are going to see, one of my uh, previous project implementation in Salesforce. So with that reference, we are going to work on that requirement. So be ready for that as well. So now, once it is done, which I'm going to give the by the way the assignment in email. So what you need to do is here, whatever code actually, whatever code actually you have created or you have done, you have implemented. Please note that that code of account object records, which we are going to see, we are going to use in the HDFC insurance uh, project, and which we are going to now see here onwards to see various use cases of that. Assume that we are working on we got a project of HDFC insurance, and we are going to work on their project. So in that application, you are going to in that application we are going to actually have this kind of components used, so that we will give some kind of display, and by using some kind of tabs and all, we will be providing our customer to see how actually how what kind of customers are there, where we have some kind of type to the customer, etc., etc. That I, by the way, I'm going to send you by email. So just note this, and this way, the final result will be a kind of uh, well uh, well working lightning component project you are going to have with lots of information or lots of useful thing which you are going to use. Okay, so just remember, whenever I'm saying HDFC application, here onwards you should be very clear that it's nothing but the HDFC project we are going to work side by side here onwards, because now you have sufficient knowledge to work on the Salesforce lightning things. You can write the code, you can write Apex, you can write JavaScript. So this way, now here onwards, whatever we will do as per the HDFC real-time projects only. Okay, so remember this. So for that, whatever things are going to come, I will be telling you specifically that okay, we have done this. Now do the same thing for HDFC. Like this, we are going to discuss. Okay. Now let's move to the next level and try to understand that whenever in Salesforce we are actually we are going to whenever in Salesforce we are going to work on any kind of iteration, or we are going to have kind of change of value, we want to have a kind of uh, for loop kind of thing, where we are going to iterate through multiple values one by one. So in this case, one best solution for us is nothing but Aura iteration. Remember this, by which Aura iteration you can perform various things, and actually you should be clear with this Aura iteration activity as well. Because of this only, or because of this Aura iteration only, you are going to process lots of records in future. So we are going to see that Aura iteration activity, which was a part of our previous implementation. So let me show you one by one. So what you need actually, first of all, you should have one you should have one uh, set of data, or list of data, or collection of data, I would say, where you need to just iterate through that one by one, and how actually it's going to implement. Let me tell you something about this. So whenever you are actually going to uh, proceed for this, let me just show you. Just 1 minute, let me know. Go click on the developer console. So let me open the developer console code, where we are going to see something about iteration. So now this, whatever we have done previous work, let me close all, and we will work on the functionality of iteration. And please note how actually we need to work on that. So first of all, what we will do is we will be iterating through some kind of important code. This code is going to be very important for you, because by this way you will be able to understand how actually we need to iterate the map, or we need to iterate in Salesforce, if you are going to have a map of list, then what kind of activities we are going to do in Salesforce, etc., etc. So we are actually going to see this kind of information. Okay, so remember how exactly we need to iterate by map of list. Very important point, which is going to help you. And let me see, using iteration in Salesforce. So please note, iteration is a very useful uh, functionality in Salesforce, which helps us to iterate through all possible, or let's say, collection of values we have. Okay, and here this helps us in the same way, the way we used for each loop in past. Maybe in admin syllabus, sorry, maybe in classic syllabus you have used that. It's for each loop, which is nothing but which helps us to iterate through the various elements. Okay, so now here please note, we are going to use for this purpose, we are actually going to use the tag like this for iteration. So is the tag which helps in this case, and we need to use this on component level. Okay, so while writing on component level, we are going to work on this or iteration tag. Now here, please note, in this case it is very straightforward to understand how exactly to iterate by using or iteration. But the main thing is here, I want you guys to be very comfortable with iterating, uh, having the or iteration, but along with that, some kind of important thing like map and all both. Okay. For this reason, I'm going to show you some example. So what we are going to do here is we are actually going to have a list or a collection of some kind of text. Let's say, um, for example, we are going to have a list of collections. 1 minute. So here, what we are going to do is we are actually going to have a list of value or list of collections that we are going to use. Let's say some kind of numbers, and these numbers are actually going to help us to understand what kind of or iteration format we can use. Okay, it's very useful. So let's go for that. And here I'm going to show you one code also. Okay, so let me just show you, let me just implement some code. So what we are going to do here is, let me just take the code from my system. Just 1 minute, let me take the code from my system. Okay, now see here, a very straightforward format of iteration you can see. So assume that you want to iterate in your lightning component, then you will just write aura component or iteration, where you will write hard coded list of values, or you can pass a value here from the controller as well. It depends on situation to situation. Then this variable item will be going through one by one all the values, and it's going to display one by one all the values here. Okay, so for the sake of business logic, we'll just do one thing here. You will just print the item here. You can even just print the item here. Here you can just use the variable item, whatever we are going to use. This item variable which we are using, we can just print here 1 2 3 4 5 value will be coming here. That's also fine. And we can enclose this, by the way, as usual, as it's a variable inside this. Okay, so just copy this code, come here, and let me just create one uh, let's say lightning component, and this I'm writing under learning iteration demo, or let's say iteration component. Okay, We are learning iteration by this. Click on submit and just paste this code here. Simple. Okay, and this I need to call by one application. So let me see any generic application if I have in my environment, which is just for some testing purpose and all. So let me see any kind of app is there which I can use here. And I will use one generic application here onwards, new Lightning application. And what we'll do here is learning uh, generic app. So we will call every component from here instead of just creating various applications. Okay, you can just do like this. So here, to call the component, how we need to call, you know very well. So learning iteration component, something like this. Okay, so now let's see how actually it's going to be displayed. And apart from that, one very important thing, whatever you are actually going to create, whatever you are actually going to write, always ensure that you are following that extend functionality, because ultimately here the main thing is to give lightning look and feel. So also you do one thing, go for this code at the beginning of your application, extend force SLDS, that is use the lightning look and feel that we already discussed. Okay, and now when actually we are going to see the functionality, or we are going to see the output and all, then it will simply show you or simply present you the list of the values. And this is nothing but going to be the values coming from that iteration. That is what actually our main intention is. Okay, so while implementing learning iteration component, please note that you are actually going to display one by one all the items from that. And after that, this all items will be actually coming on, will be called in the specific implementation specific functionality. And this way you can see it is coming like this. Can you see A, B, C, D, all the values are coming one by one. If you need, you can also do one thing. You can just also come here, you can also just give a break. You can also give break, so it will just change the line. That's also fine. Just click on this and just come to this page and refresh this and look at this. Okay, so this way you can traverse through any collection of data that you're going to have. Okay, now one more thing I would like to tell you, just for giving some additional knowledge. Please note that in Salesforce we have one useful thing, a very useful thing in Salesforce that we have, that suppose whenever you are actually having any kind of implementation where you have to represent some kind of functionality in Salesforce Lightning. So whenever in the Salesforce Lightning you have some functionalities by which you are actually looking to provide some kind of solution to customer. So let me just show you that. Just give 1 minute. So yeah, so I wanted to show you that suppose you are actually working on any Lightning implementation, and where you have a requirement to use any such scenario in Salesforce, like which looks like kind of reading and all. For example, uh, let's say what we'll have like here. For example, let's say you have some kind of a horizontal bar. Okay, you have horizontal bar. In that horizontal bar, let's say if we are installing something, right? So it will feel like this, right? If you're installing something, then it will start feeling like this. If you're installing any applications, right? So it will show you the progress like this. So such kind of effect also you want to do or you want to have. That's also you can just create or implement. So example of basic duration, and also let me give one more example for you. This will give you additional knowledge to you that how we can use already present Lightning components to make the better effects. Example of iteration with the meter effect. Okay, so for that what you can do is just copy this code, come here and just give some numbers because we need some numbers for calculation. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 5, and here there is a uh, attribute that we are having actually, which is called as meter. Okay, and let's just go to writing here meter, and the value for the meter is, you can mention, for example, this value and divide by 5. Okay, so let's divide 1 by 5, 2 by 5, 3 by 5. Let's say out of 5, how many values are, how much progress we are having. Just a simple calculation, nothing difficult in this. Okay, and as it's a value, then substitute in the double quotation, because when we give some kind of value as an attribute, we do give quotation mark. Just copy this. Okay, just copy this and come to our code, and come to our code and here end the meter here, and let me also end the meter here. This is the closing step of meter. Okay, and just do one thing now. Click on save all, go to the application, click on update preview. Now it's coming on the same line. Just do one thing, there's a small mistake. Let me give the break here because it's coming on the same line. Save. Now go to the application and refresh. So look at the meter effect, right? So how effectively you generated a meter effect. So 5 out of 1, 5 out of 2, 5 out of 3 like this. Sorry, 1 out of 5, 2 out of 5, 3 out of 5 like this. How easily you created the effect, okay? So this way we can use iteration in multiple ways in the real-time project. Now apart from that, I would like to tell you one more important thing. Pay attention. There is something which we also regularly use in the real-time project, that is the working on the iteration activity, which we can actually take the benefit of, uh, whether like iteration activity we can take the benefit of by using the functionality of some kind of map or list and all. So what we will be doing now, this time we will be going for some more complexity. We will ensure that we have one apex class. It's going to return, let's say, map of list. Okay, which is nothing but going to be some interesting functionality for you. This will actually generate, or this will actually create a specific map of list. Okay, then we will create a lightning component, and then we are going to call this functionality from lightning component. Interesting. Okay, pay attention. So first of all, let me explain you the entire code one by one. So this is now advanced level. Okay, so this was with meter effect. Now this is going to be example of iteration with with map map of list. Okay, plus and example of iteration with server side data. Okay, let's see how we can take the benefit of it. And by the way guys, I hope now you are very confident to understand whenever I'm writing something like this, then no need to tell also that it is component. When you're writing any kind of JavaScript code, no need to tell it's JavaScript code. When you're writing Apex class, no need to tell it's an Apex class, because that much understanding you already have. Okay, so I'm going to now first of all arrange you. Let me just show you. So let me just make the code available, and that code we are going to actually use. That code we are actually going to use for creating this functionality. So just give 1 second. I'm going to use. We are going to use in fact three things here: the component and JavaScript code, and then we are going to see the results. Okay, so let's see. Now pay attention here. Let me explain some important information to you. So we are going to first of all see uh, Apex class. This Apex class is going to play with now map of list. Very useful. It will give you lots of knowledge. So pay attention. First of all, assume that we have created a Apex class with the name learning aura controller. We have mentioned aura enabled because this Apex class we want should be used in Lightning also. Otherwise, this will be used only in Classic. So that is enabled. Public statics. Now this function is going to return a map. In the map, it will be having string and list of string. It means the map will be something like this: a string, one string, and here list of string. This will be the map. This will be the key, and this will be the value. Okay. So this I hope you already saw in your classic programming sessions in the topic called as collections. Okay. So this is a map in which in the key we are going to show we are going to store one string, and in the value we are going to store multiple string. This is the format. So we are declaring one map here. So in the line number 41, we are declaring a map of string, and then value is list of string, and the map name is map object. Okay, and now, or let's say uh, my map you can give. Okay, or let's say map of data, anything you can give. Ultimately we want this should be clear to you, or the name should be clear to you that what actually we are doing. Okay, so let's say map of data. Next, now I'm going to create list of string. I'm going to just create list of string, like that is for example fruits, and I'm going to create another list of string, that is vegetables, and here also I'm declaring one list. So I will be having a list now like this. Let's say apple, orange, banana, grape, something like this. And also one more list I will be having, that is for example cabbage, carrot, potato, etc. Okay, so I will be having two simple lists. Next, now I'm going to create, I'm adding here some values. Okay, and this values I'm adding in such a way that in a map, so see how I'm creating. So this is my empty map right now, it's empty. Okay, then I'm saying here add fruits, this value add here, and in the here you add the list of all the fruits, apple, orange, banana, whatever you mention. Then here you add vegetable text, and here in this section you add cabbage, carrot, potato, all. Okay, so in short, here we have in the first section we have something like this. Here we have fruits, this. Okay, and here we have apple, orange, banana, grapes. And in the second section we have here vegetable, that is this value, and here we will have carrot, potato, cabbage, whatever is there. Okay, so this way we have created the map. Now this map of list, how effectively we can use, pay attention. So what we'll do here first of all, or we'll just implement some functionality here, or we'll just try to add some kind of code here, and you'll understand how actually it's going to be implemented. So we are going to call now this in the apex, that is lightning component, and this lightning component is going to be dependent on apex class learning or a controller. This is our apex class, so that we can call the content from this apex class. For that we must declare at the beginning controller learning or a controller. Next, now we are given an attribute, okay, a generic attribute of type object, which can be useful for multiple requirements, just a generic type object, and here we are given a name, for example map values. Okay, then we have given some CSS. I told you already, whenever you see something like this class equal to SLDS, it's nothing but just giving some effects, some look and feel to the lightning component, and this we are going to see in future. So just we need to write div and then class and then some SLDS effect, which is the part of Salesforce Lightning Design System library. So we are going to see how actually we can take the benefit of this kind of look and feel. There are so many options available in this look and feel, but we are going to learn this as a separate topic. So just understand here, it is nothing but giving a look and feel to the Salesforce environment. Okay, so now it's showing some kind of large, it's showing some kind of box. See, these are the various look and feels, and how to from where to get this kind of effects and examples and all, everything I'm going to tell you. So it's very simple. So I'm going to create a div to give a large look and feel, and I'm going to create one more div. Div means a section. Okay, remember always div is nothing but a section in your lightning component. So here I'm giving a kind of box kind of look and feel. Okay, then I'm going to create a lightning button. So to create a button in lightning, you can give a lightning button, then you can give a name to the button, that is iterate map, and on the click of the button, what functionality should be called, we can mention here. Of course, this functionality is going to be from client side controller, because from component we can call the functions in the JavaScript. So we are giving here the function of get map values of JavaScript. So on click of this, the control will go to the JavaScript. Let's see what will happen. So here the JavaScript code. So you can see here get map values, the function got called. Here we are saying that do one action. Which action? Go to the server side and see there should be a function called as get map. Is it there? Yes. You can see there is a function get map. Yes. In the Apex class we have get map. Okay. So just come down, or let me write here for easiness. Apex class lightning component client side controller. Okay, that is JavaScript controller. Fine. So we are saying that as soon as this function is being called, do one thing, go to server and call the function getMap. Is it there? Yes, getMap is there. So getMap will do what? It will just make this all data ready, and at the end it will return the map, whatever we have the entire structure. So we are saying do one thing, be ready for calling the function, and the handle of that function is present in action variable. Okay, now action.set callback will call the function, and whatever it's going to return the function, it's going to be in the part of response. It's going to be in the response here, line number 72. So we are saying call the function and come back. Set callback means call the function and come back, and while you come back, or when you come back, give me the response in this variable. Now this response, you can check the state of the response. Is it success or error? Because if it is error, then Salesforce will return you error if anything goes wrong. So first of all, call a function response.getState, which you can save in any variable. I'm saving in the state, and I'm comparing if state equal to success. Then I am running this part of code. This much code I'm running. Okay, if state equal to success, then this. And by the way, what is the meaning of triple equal to? That I'm actually going to tell you, or I'm going to teach you when we are going to learn the bonus topic in our journey learning JavaScript. So wait and watch for that. It's just nothing but comparison. This knowledge is sufficient for you, just comparing two things. Now here, if it is success, then I'm going to line number 75. I'm saying, okay, then let me call one function from response. Response will have multiple functions. Get state at line number 73, get return value at line number 75. It's already present. We don't need to do anything. So just do one thing, call a function get return value, and it will give the return value to a variable result. Now in the result, to see what kind of values are there, what kind of solution is there, we are just creating a array. Array is nothing but just, it's going to be something like this, a structure like this, like a collection. An array will be having such kind of variable where you can add multiple values. It's nothing but a kind of collection only, like a list. Okay, so we are doing one thing, we are creating an array. And what we are doing, we are just going through the iteration. Now just look at this, it's same like iteration for each. Okay, so what we are doing, we are taking a temporary variable key, and one by one we are going through the results. This is nothing but the response that we got. Okay, so one by one, let's say in the result whatever we have, we are doing one thing, we are just going to push one by one values we are getting from this result, where we are going to create one array. So now see, the output is something like this, we are having array. So first we are pushing the key and the value, okay, that we are pushing. So first of all, the key is going to be nothing but the vegetable, and in that the value we are going to keep is, for example, the first vegetable. Okay, and then again value, again second vegetable, like this. We are actually going through add array. This dot push means do one thing, add in array. What to add? The key. We can give a key to that particular array. Sorry, we can give key to the particular this value. This is nothing but array that we can give a key identification mark, that is nothing but the key coming from this one by one values, and then also give a value that is nothing but result of that key. In short, in the result, this is the result. Okay, in the result, whatever key we are having, just pass that key and we are creating the array. Then we are going to generate this kind of data, and this value we are going to set in the variable map values, which is nothing but the part of component. So see here, we are already declaring a variable here at line number 53. So that value is now coming here in this variable map values. As soon as you are going to complete that functionality, that is after the button click, function will go to JavaScript. From JavaScript it will go to Apex class. From Apex class it will come to JavaScript, and from JavaScript it will come again in the same reverse manner in the component, and in the component we have the values now here in this variable map values. Now this map value I am using as an iteration. The main reason why we saw this code and understanding or learning iteration. So in the iteration variable we have all the data. So we are giving a variable, a temporary variable, and here we are processing through this. First of all, we are showing map key dot key. Now strong is nothing but to show some kind of value in a kind of a highlighting manner, and p is nothing but a paragraph tag. So just it shows like a paragraph. Okay, now here map dot key I'm displaying something. Okay, and for every key I'm displaying the iteration values, that by creating an iteration, and this way the entire functionality is working. Now let me show you the output, and then again I'm going to come to this code to explain you this how this code is implemented. So just give 1 minute. First of all, let me complete the output. So go to this and now close and do one thing. Um, here I will replace this component by this code. So let's copy this component and replace this code. Then copy this JavaScript and come to this controller and replace this code. And the main thing, create an Apex class here, paste the Apex class and create an Apex class and paste this code. Okay, and file and save all. Okay, now it's time to see the output. But one more thing, very important. Yeah, so this app we are going to use by changing the, okay, the name of the component is same, right? Fine, okay. So we'll use the same component because we replaced just the previous component code. So we don't need to change anything in the application because the component code is same. We just need to now run the application and we need to see the output which is coming here. And let me just call the code. And by the way, here just click on update preview. Okay, it's going to start now an application. Okay, so look at this. We have some kind of box like effect, right? Have you seen? It's a box. I told you it's large and box, and right? So this way we get the effect. And in that we have a button, iterate map. So you just need to press on the iterate map. What will happen? Because of this button, it will go to the client side controller. In that there is a function of JavaScript which is actually going to call internally Apex class. Apex class will calculate the map and it will give to the client side controller. The client side controller will now set this data to the variable created as an attribute in the component. So this way we need to go for the format. We cannot directly jump from this button to Apex class or the Apex class to this button. It's not possible. So we need to go with this sequence, and now let's see what's going to happen if I'm going to press on iterate map. Look at the output. So we have easily iterated the map from server side to the Lightning component client side. Now let me give a gap between these two values. It's just coming very combined manner. So where is the component? Yeah. So here, after this iteration is internal iteration is done. After this iteration is done, this one. Okay, so we can just even give a break and save. Just give two lines. Break means one space, one line space. Okay, just come here and refresh the page. And let the page get loaded. And if you iterate the map, you can see now the proper spacing is good. Okay, so this way we can perform the activity. And now let me explain you the code again. Pay attention. Now I'm explaining the code again. So first of all, let me just give here. Let me give a break here. Okay, now pay attention. I'm explaining the code again. Pay attention. Here, first of all, this is the Lightning component. Whenever the page is getting started or the application is going to call this component, then this Lightning component, because of this effects, is going to show a button in a box. Button is this. This button is going to call or can call only the client side controller function. So it's going to be now connecting to the client JavaScript code, which is here. This JavaScript code get map function will say, okay, then let's do one thing. If anyone is going to press on that button, then this function will come. If anyone is going to call this function, let's do one thing. Let's connect to the Apex class function. Get map. Now do one thing. Get a handle or get a connection of that get map and then pass this action or perform this action by calling a function set callback. Action.setCallback will actually call that function present in apex class, and then whatever response will come, it will bring it to this line number 73, because it's a set callback function, not a normal call. So it will come back here and set callback, and it will be given as a response to the response variable, which you can see at line number 73, function bracket response. So everything coming as a response will be here. Now just to give you the idea what actually is the output in the response, then I can just add an alert here. Response from server is equal to, so to see something from in the JavaScript, we have this kind of alert functionality. So you can just add the alert like this. This also we are going to see in future when we see the bonus topic of JavaScript. And just to see what is the value as a response before we do anything. Okay, let me just show you here. Okay, before we do anything, what will be the output? Let's see. Come here. Go to controller, and before we do anything, let us see what will be the output as a response and save it. And just come here and refresh the page. Now iterate map. See, can you see? This is how actually the output is. Okay. Now this output is in the format of the JSON, and it's going to be showing some generic value object and object. So you will not be able to get the proper value here if we just directly use this output, because the response what you are going to get, pay attention, the response which you get directly here is not directly usable. You have to iterate properly. Pay attention, it's very important. This is the reason why we are doing all these efforts. Okay, so please note this point. This response is not directly understandable. We need to process them. So then first of all we are checking the response.state. If all is good, if this state is equal to success, you can even see here the state of the response. Response state is response dot get state. Okay, and see what's going to happen. It will show you true, false. Okay, save. So please remember this kind of things we regularly use in the real-time project to perform some kind of activity. Okay, so response state, this kind of code alert we use regularly, and just refresh. Click on iterate map. See, this is the first response, that is the first alert, that is the response, and second alert is this. See, success. Can you see? So this way we check the thing time to time, step by step, by adding a very useful code called as alert. So now here, if everything is good, then the state is success. Then what we are doing? Then we are checking response dot get return value. This is the correct method. Okay, now let's see what will be the output of the result. Okay, let us see what is going to be in the result variable. Data in result variable is this. Okay, add here, copy, and result here. Okay, click on save, and now just click on, or let's go for that page and refresh. Iterate map. So his first alert is no idea of no clarity. Second is the state, and third one is nothing but the result. Now here we are coming to the finer level. Please note, here we are coming to some finer level where we have now the array of the results. But please note, still it is not readable directly. Okay, that is the reason. Please note, in the real-time project we always perform some step-by-step activities by which we create the data by using various component key sets, etc., etc. Okay, so this value is again something which directly not readable for us. When we actually give it to some variable, then we can read. In alert it will not come. Another very important thing which will help you in the real-time project, whenever you get a response from server, directly you cannot read them by alert if it is actually a kind of collection. It's just a single variable. That is, for example, let's say you're making a calculation of something, 1 plus 1. In return from apex class it's giving 2. Yeah, fine, the single individual values are readable in alert, but when it comes in the format of collection, it's not readable. So what we are doing here now, in the result we have the data, but we need to traverse it. So what we are doing, we are creating a variable that is a collection, and this is an collection variable. Okay, a collection variable of type map to store the result. Okay, I created like this. Now here we are traversing one by one in that result whatever we got. Okay, so a temporary variable key is created. Okay, and we are traversing through whatever result we got. Then after that, then after that then after that what we are actually doing is we are traversing through this one by one, and after this here we are actually in this map that we created, we are pushing one by one values. Okay, and please note here, whenever actually we want to add some kind of value in any kind of array, here type array by the way, to store the results. Now here in array, we will add one by one value that we can do by push function. So we are saying do one thing. First of all, push the key. Whatever key is there, means whatever value is there in the result, push that value. Okay, and then after that, the value part we are using as a result.key. Just 1 minute. Okay, so let's continue. So here in this array, we are giving the key to that array is nothing but the key which is coming, or the values which are coming in the result. And then in the value, that is array will be having two sections. One actually in array we are going to have the keys, and also we are going to have the values. Okay, key value like this. So here we are actually giving the similar functionality, and here we are giving the key, and then we are giving the value. So this value is nothing but in the result we are passing this key, and we are saying whatever is the value or whatever is the result of that, give it. Now here it's coming vegetable, and here it's coming the values, like for example what we have given here, uh, cabbage, carrot, potato. Then again second, in the second round, here it's coming as a fruits, and then here instead of this it's coming orange, banana, whatever we have given. Okay, so this way we are actually iterating the value by using the array, and we are pushing the value, the key we are pushing, that we are getting as a in the result whatever we have, and then we are actually passing these results and getting the particular section of that key. Okay, in short, we are getting here vegetable, name of the vegetable, fruits, name of the fruits, then the variable is ready, array maps key. Now this we are setting to the component code which we have on the screen. which is nothing but here. And now, as a result of that, here, as soon as you press the button, as a result of that, what will happen? Now we got a variable map values, and that is containing a map. But again, here also we need to iterate, right? So that we can iterate by this way. ORA iteration. This is the ORA iteration code, entire ORA iteration code, where we are saying items means from where you are going to get the value. We are saying the variable that we generated at the JavaScript controller or JavaScript code, please use this variable data, where a temporary variable creating, that is map key, and one index variable we are creating, that is key, which actually is nothing but the index of that particular value. Okay, so how it's going to work? See, so first of all, print their map key here, whatever value is there, that key means it's printing now fruits. Okay, so whatever data we have, that data's key is there, that is fruit and vegetable, print it. And then once you print it, then again start internal iteration, where the collection we are giving is map key dot value, that is whatever map key we are having here, that variable, that value you give. So for example, here now we have in the vegetable, for example, or let's say starting is the fruit, right? So first one is fruit, orange, vegetable, orange, apple, banana. So here now the data will be orange, apple, banana. So we are just printing this here, orange, again one more iteration, banana, again one more iteration, apple, like this. And then it's completed, two lines we are making as a space. Again we are coming to line number 57. Again, are we having any another section? Yes, we are having, where items we are having, which is nothing but one more section of the map. So we are just coming here and we are printing map key. It's printing the key of the map value, that is nothing but vegetables. And here again we are coming to this particular iteration, because we know that we have cabbage, carrot, potato, tomato, etc. present here. So here this particular item actually, which is going to contain the all vegetable values, which we are going to traverse one by one by this temporary variable. It will just print the value again and again, two line space, and iteration will be complete, because there are only two blocks in this iteration. So please note, the main thing to understand, when we'll come to this point, this, then actually it's going to have something like this. So it's going to contain the vegetable and fruits, or let's say I think fruits first. So here fruits and vegetable, and let's say banana, apple, whatever we're having, cabbage, potato, tomato, whatever we're having. This will be the situation of this, and this iteration will traverse to this first and this first, and print the value. Okay, so this is very interesting use, and some kind of complex example we have taken, so that to ensure you can even process a code or iteration or a kind of map like this in Apex class. Also you can process it by using this kind of key and push functionality. In, it's very simple, just in one line you are doing this key push. It's a very simple thing, line number 87. A slight complex thing is here at component, where we are doing the double iteration, one iteration for block 1 and the second iteration for banana, apple, and such kind of vegetable or the fruits category, and that's it. Okay, so based on this I am going to give you one assignment as well. So pay attention, here is your assignment. I am going to give you this assignment for you, and you need to do this live assignment. And the assignment is this. So what I want to do is I need to iterate the data. Okay, so the data like this. Okay, cloud technology. Okay, so Salesforce, Amazon Web Service. Okay, and apart from that, um, let's say cloud products, we can say, and let's say Google Suite. Okay, and another is mobile products, uh, Android. iPhone. Okay, and and also and apart from this web, let's see, you have .NET app, Java app, etc. Okay, so fetch above data from server and show in lightning component. Okay, now I'm not going to write using iteration because it should be your own understanding now that it's possible by iteration only. Okay, so you can perform this activity and you can do this kind of activity. Third one, as of now, if you want, you can just focus on these two things, and the third one you can try as a homework. Okay, so I'm going to do one thing. I'm just going to paste this code. So now just check your check your chat box. This is code number 1. This is code number 2. Now when the code is ready for you, you don't need to worry about much writing. Just within a 5 minutes you can complete this code number 3. So I need this kind of data, and output should be what actually we are able to see here. Cloud product here, Salesforce, Amazon Web Services, etc. Mobile, iPhone, Android, etc., etc. Okay, so please proceed and perform this live assignments. Your time starts now. minutes. Please complete quickly. If you are getting the output, if you are getting the results, then only it should be called as completed. The result by that way, the way I showed you my screen. Okay guys, time is up and now let me see the code or the work sent by you. Anyone uh, anyone who said or who got the idea that we here the main thing we need to change or work on is the apex class and the rest of the functionality is going to be same. So please note that's correct, but as it's kind of live assignments and all, so please note I have given the code to you to save the time. But actually when you are going to work on the home assignment, that is I told you here to just you can see here the third section which you can proceed by as a home assignment, this one where you need to write your entire code by understanding the code properly. Okay, so do this kind of activity by as a homework and write entire code by understanding how exactly it's going to happen. Okay, so here that is the reason, let me just focus on only two options or two values from this, and then we are actually going to use this code, and the third one you are going to write by your own by writing line by line of the code, not shortcut the way you have done here because of the lack of time. So now let me just run the code, save it, save the current fx class, and here, and I'm going to remove that third one, save it because third one is a part of your home assignment. Just run it, heated map, server success variable, and this is your output. Okay, so don't miss that assignment which is to do one by one writing line by line code including this third one, then only you will understand this code. Otherwise you just copy pasted the code given by me and you modified, that will not give you much confidence. Okay, so this is all about iteration.